everyone again for coming out on this day. It's a beautiful day for us. We're often brought people from other parts of the world, and they come here and they look around and they say, oh, it's so gray, it's so rainy. But that's why I love this place. This is part of what makes our place so green and so beautiful. And we think about the richness, thank you sir, the richness of the landscape. If these salmon were to disappear, heaven forbid, if they were to disappear, it would change the landscape. All around the streams where these salmon die and return to the earth, you'll find the DNA from the salmon in the plants and the trees, meters and meters and meters away from the water. They need that. We all need that. And if we stand idle and we stand still, they will disappear. I'd like to welcome a salmon warrior from my homeland, Estalo territory, Eddie Gardner. Please come back. Please come forward. A champion for wild salmon.
It is foolish for the governments and the Norwegian corporations to destroy the very thing that we depend on for our well-being. It is insane for them to do this. We, the people, have been required to step forward and take a stand for wild salmon, to be the voice for wild salmon, to protect wild salmon, because it's absolutely essential for our own well-being. It is the wild salmon that is the vital. It is so vital to the food chain along the coastal waters, along the riverbeds, and its tributaries. And as Carrie Glenn said, it feeds the trees and the plants, the very thing that provides oxygen for us to breathe. Saving wild salmon is all about our own survival, my dear ones. And we can save wild salmon. One of the first steps that we need to do in order to save wild salmon is to remove the open net feedlots from the migration routes of wild salmon. That is absolutely essential. It is so good to be invited and to be warmly welcomed here on the traditional land of the Musqueam people. We all acknowledge Feedlot and the Spanish people as well. Today, we come together because we all know that later is not good enough. We must act today. We must act now. The removal of those open net feedlot pens has to happen in 2013. We do face some formidable odds that are against us. We have a Harper government that has become the #1 enemy of the environment. The #1 enemy to the lands, to the waters, and to the air, and to our wild salmon. The Christy Clark government is no better. The Christy Clark government is the slum landlord of the coastal waters. They have leased space for the Norwegian companies to come in and put their dirty, filthy, open net feedlots that destroy our marine environment, and they're killing our wild salmon. This must stop. It's not to be tolerated anymore. When we compare putting a big, large stone on top of a plant that cannot grow, and so it must be removed in order for it to grow and flourish. That is the same situation that we're facing with the open net feedlots. The open net feedlots must be removed in order for our wild salmon to flourish once again, to nourish and feed human beings and the biodiversity all across supernatural BC. And the Harper government has shown that they're not going to stray away from their destructive path. But here in BC, we have an election coming up in the spring, my dear ones. In May. The federal government has responsibility for fisheries and oceans, but it is the provincial government that has the authority and the jurisdiction to revoke the leases of those Norwegian feedlot operations. They hold the trump card that can allow us to clear the path for wild salmon so it can resurge once again and become a powerful force, a powerful entity to once again support our economies, support our physical, our spiritual, our cultural well-being, support the biodiversity in British Columbia. This must happen. Idle no more.
Idle no more!
We must make this a dominant issue in the next election coming up. Idle no more.
Idle no more!
We must ask each and every candidate who's running for power in Ottawa, in Victoria, to be a champion for wild salmon. Idle no more.
Idle no more!
Ocean. I want to tell you that we need to unite, and we need to march, and we need to keep going until the job is done. And the job isn't going to be done until we see the last open net feedlot removed from the coastal waters of British Columbia. And we're in solidarity today with people around the world, like in Norway, who are marching for wild salmon over there. What do we want? When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Fish farms out!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Fish farms out!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Fish farms out!
When do we want it?
Now!
Woo-hoo!
dear people, hands are up to you for joining us today, for coming out with your passion and your heart and your minds set on defending the wild salmon